All the Queen's Men, season 4, episode 12 was lit, okay? We're getting better. We're getting into some things now, right? We had an appearance from somebody that I really missed seeing. And this episode was actually titled Weak in the Knees after Babyface because he is going out so sad, y'all. But I'm going to get into that more when I get into the full recap. But let me introduce myself first for those of you who are new here. My name is Brandi, and I realize that you could be on any channel in the world, but you're right here with me, and I really do appreciate that. But please, guys, go ahead and like this video. It really helps the channel. And also subscribe to this channel if you do like watching TV show reviews and also movie reviews. So episode 12 kicks off with Madam and the rest of her staff at Club Eden dealing with the aftermath of the armed robbery. We see Madam questioning everybody. She's trying to figure out what happened. So Blue tells her, like, listen, we had our normal delivery schedule for this time. I opened the door, let them in, but then the armed robbers immediately threw Blue into some kind of like trunk or crate, right? They locked her up because they knew that Blue was a threat. Blue's the head of security detail, and she would have handled them accordingly, right? So with that information, they determined that it must have been an inside job because it must have been somebody that knew the delivery schedule, and they knew that Blue was security detail and she needed to go down first. What was also strange about this robbery is that they did not touch the registers at all. So all the cash is still intact. All they did was basically rob the customers. So Madam's still trying to get to the bottom of things, and she's talking to Blue in her office like, who could have did this? Maybe it was Concierge. And Blue was like, yeah, I know you guys have a truce, but you did kill his whole family. And Madam's so funny. She's like, I didn't kill his whole family. I only killed 3 of his people, right? Like, Madam, like, yo, she be so serious, but so funny at the same time, right? But Blue was like, listen, you killing 3 of his family members is enough for him to break y'all little truce, right? And let me tell you, remember in my last review, I was like, something is missing from this show. I think I really miss seeing Concierge on a regular basis. Like, I feel like he was a true op to Madam, right? Now, all of Madam's ops, I mean, she definitely has the law as her opponent, but she only has like Jean and Tony. Like, she doesn't really have any real ops right now, right? But I feel like Concierge, he matched her level of evilness, her level of gangster. So I was really excited to see her just exchanging the conversation with Concierge, right? But he assured her that he did not have her club robbed and that their truce is still intact. A few scenes later, we see Dime have an exchange with one of the customers at the club. A girl has on Dime's necklace that was stolen during the armed robbery. So Dime, she cusses the girl out, she gets her necklace back, and then she goes to Madam's office to tell Madam, like, listen, you know, I got a lead on who could have robbed us, right? This is my necklace, and the customer said that she bought it from Cuts. They're open all night long there in Midtown Atlanta, right? So Madam's like, all right, bet, you know, Dime, good looking out. You know, Dime, you've been really stepping up. You've been doing a good job. Thank you for that, right? Like, Dime was really being like a little gangster on this episode, right? A few scenes later, we see Blue having a conversation with Madam in Madam's kitchen, right? And you could tell that Madam really loves Blue. And you could tell that she does not believe or want to believe that Blue is turning state evidence against her, right? So they're having this conversation in the kitchen. Blue is just telling Madam, like, listen, I'm going to turn over the footage from the robbery to the police station. And Madam's like, well, why the F you want to do that, right? They're not going to help us do nothing that we can't do on our own. And Blue was like, listen, I'm just trying to help you look good. You're on trial right now. Let's just cooperate with the police since they asked for the footage. It's something small we could do to just make you look good, right? And then Madam's like, okay, all right, whatever. Thank you. By the way, are you going to be at the trial today? And Blue was like, of course I'm going to be there. Where else would I be? And Madam's like, well, I turned around a few times in the trial and you weren't actually there. So I guess you're still on your little secret, handling your business type stuff, right? So she's being a little bit passive aggressive with Blue, which we all know is not Madam's style. She's usually a straight shooter, but you could just tell that she loves Blue so much and she's treading lightly, but she trusts that Blue is doing the right thing and not flipping on her, okay? So Blue just tells her, like, listen, Madam, I'm going to be there as best as I can. I was just handling some personal business, right? And that's where their conversation ends. But we see Blue and Madam later on, they go to that barbershop Cuts, right? And they confront the owner of the barbershop, like, listen, you know, at gunpoint, by the way, Blue has the strap out, pointed at his head, like, listen, who gave you this jewelry, right? And the barber tells them like, okay, so we got this jewelry from a guy named Jamal, right? So they're going to put the clues together from there on like, who is this Jamal character, okay? So all roads are going to lead back to Jean and Tony eventually, right? Which is actually what Jean wants. So let's switch over to Jean and Tony's storyline since we're on that note right now, okay? So we see Jean and Tony, they're having a conversation at Maddie B's, and they're talking about the robbery. Jean is like, oh, that went so smooth last night. It looks like everything went flawless, just as planned. And he tells Tony, because Tony seems kind of confused about the plan. See, and this is what I mean about Madam doesn't have any real strong ops right now. And that's what really makes the show interesting, when she has strong ops, right? So these people are just weak. So Jean is telling Tony like, yeah, the plan is to have Madam come for me, because Madam's not going to take it lightly that the club got robbed. I know she's going to figure out it's me. And when she comes to me, I'm going to have the police on speed dial, and she's going to go down because she's violating her bail. And I know she's going to try to deal with me, but I'm going to record everything, right? So that's Jean's little plan, right? Courtney's little plan, by the way. And Tony just sitting there going along with everything. I mean, I cannot wait till Madam crushes them, right? It's going to be so light work for her to deal with them. So later on, we see Jean at Madam's trial, and he's testifying against her. He's up on the stand snitching like, she killed Alan Frisk. Alan Frisk was his business partner. And he's like, I'm for sure that she did it because that's the word on the streets, right? So then Madam's attorney, Lovett, he goes up there, and Lovett's trying to eat Jean up. But let me pause and just say this. Like, I wish they would have had a stronger attorney for Madam. Yes, Lovett, he's getting the job done somewhat, but the way he delivers his lines is just weak to me, right? I just want somebody that's more bossy, somebody with more swag to be her attorney. But anyway, he questions Jean about what does he mean, the streets? Can they call the streets to the stand to confirm that Madam had Alan Frisk killed? And then while on the stand, Jean just starts stuttering, stammering, and it looks like he's about to have a stroke or something, right? But he says like, oh my God, I think I'm having a panic attack. I'm not sure what's happening. The judge is like, well, can you finish your testimony, or are you okay, right? And so he's like, I don't think I could finish this, right? So I'm really curious to see what happened, like how Madam and them pulled that off, because I know they probably had something to do with it, right? But how did Jean just get up there and he just started getting distorted like that, right? Like, that was crazy. Can't wait to see how they're going to kill him too, right? They're going to handle Jean the way they handle Casanova, the way they handle Lola, and also the way they're trying to handle Trouble. Mentioning Trouble, let's go over to her storyline, right? We see that Smoke had another failed attempt on Trouble's life. Trouble really has 9 lives at this point, right? Like, he cannot kill Trouble, right? So this scene was a little bit weird to me. Comment down below. Let me know what you think too. I think they should have reshot this scene because I was a little bit confused. But Smoke went to her hotel room, and he sent like a little truck, not a little truck, like a little car, remote control car, to her room with a bomb on it, and a bomb exploded. But apparently Trouble was in the bathroom, so she didn't get too hurt. But that scene was just a little bit awkward for me. But nonetheless, it was just another failed attempt on Trouble's life. And Madam is like, Smoke, you better get it together, right? So I'm curious to see how Smoke is going to finally catch Trouble. I love Smoke, by the way, right? Smoke is just funny, and his kills are epic. Epic but ridiculous, but very fun to watch. But anyway, I cannot wait to see when Smoke finally gets his hand on Trouble and what he is going to do. Now let's move over to Dime's storyline. We moved forward just a bit, right? Now we're having conversations about pregnancy, missing periods, and pregnancy symptoms, right? She had a conversation with Blue like, Blue, did you ever miss your period just because you were stressed? Like, nothing more than just stress? And Blue was like, no, my period come like clockwork. Like fuck you mean, right? But this conversation is just so like, Dime, you're a grown-ass lady. Like, you know what's up. Like, that's the conversation I feel like a little teenage girl would have. Like, Dime, you grown. You know what's up. Just go take that test. But at least she's getting the thought in her mind, like, listen, you know, I better handle business because this could be Big D's baby, Aunt baby. I don't know what's going on. Now, Fuego. Oh, Fuego. I don't know what's going on with him. He flip-flopping a little bit, but I get it, right? He's a good guy. He's not no killer. But anyway, Fuego and Big D, they go back to his apartment where they had Sandra's killers tied up. Remember from episode 11? So they go back there. Apparently one of the guys, he untied himself from the rope that Big D tied, and he tried to attack Big D, right? Big D turned around and he killed them, right? And he wanted to kill them too because Fuego was having second thoughts. He was like, I'm not sure if I'm going to go through with this. You know, just me beating him up, it didn't make me feel any better. Like, I'm not sure I'm going to go through with this. And Big D like, how we going to bring them back to the apartment all tied up and you don't go through with this, right? So Big D wanted to kill the guys anyway. So that just gave him a reason. So he kills the first guy, right? And then the second guy, he starts blabbering off at the mouth, right? And he's like, well, you know, we were paid by a rich lady to do this, right? To kill Sandra, right? And it was good, by the way, too. So Big D, he kills that guy as well. But my question is, like, why didn't they pause that guy right there when he said that he was hired by a rich lady to kill Sandra? Right then and there, I mean, Fuego should have been like, whoa, wait, what rich lady, right? Because, I mean, we as the audience know that Madam was behind everything, but Fuego does not know. So I just surprised that Fuego didn't pause and ask a question, right? But nonetheless, both of those guys are dead now. Not sure what they did with the bodies. Are the bodies in the trunk? I'm not sure. But Fuego was so nervous after Big D killed them, right? He's looking at drones in the sky like, oh my God, did anybody see that? Are these drones cameras? Like, he's so nervous. And Big D is just not nervous at all. He's looking through the killer's wallets. He tried to steal the smartwatch, which is really dumb. Fuego was like, you can't take their smartwatch, man. You could track a smartwatch, dummy. But Big D is just really calm, cool, and collect. And Fuego is just spiraling. He's a mess. I won't be surprised if he just go to the police station and tell on himself. Now, Babyface is going out sad. I'm starting to feel a little bit bad for him, although I know it's his karma, but dang, his knees are really bad. Like, for one, we see him hunching with Miss Tandy. His knees gives out, right? He falls on the ground. We see him doing his routine, his dance at Club Eden, and his knees give out again. Like, Babyface is really going out sad, and nobody has any sympathy or empathy for him, right? Madam is like, look, you better get your shit together. I need my money. You know, like, you're not going to be able to work here if you're a liability, right? And also Miss Tandy is getting fed up with Babyface too. Like, listen, if I wanted somebody with bad knees, I could have just got an older guy for that. Like, duh. So Babyface's two sources of income, Miss Tandy and Madam, are upset with him over his body failing him, right? So what is Babyface gonna do to get a bag, right? Those shots that he gets in his knees aren't gonna help him that much. So I'm curious to see what his move is gonna be to get to that bag, all right? Because it looks like he won't be dancing soon, and also that he can't be Miss Tandy's lover soon anyway. So what is Babyface gonna do, y'all? Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on that. And Madam's trial overall on this episode wasn't looking too bad, right? We had Jean testify against her. Who else? We had Naima, she testified against Madam too. Well, not really testified against her. That's her job. Like, she does blood analysis, right? And she said that they found blood in Madam's purse and it belonged to Ellen Fritz too, right? But they ate her up because they brought up those drug charges. Remember when she did PCP? Well, she didn't really do it. Madam and them set her up. So they brought that up, and how the prosecution was trying to hide that key detail that Naima might have been under the influence of drugs, right? So overall, I mean, I think her trial was this episode, it looks like she's winning. But let's move on to Midnight. Midnight got locked up at the end of this episode, guys. He should have listened to Amp. Like, when they were in the gym earlier that day, Amp was trying to tell him, like, listen, you know, if this girl Renee is setting you up, you need to go to the cops first before she does, right? I thought that was a good idea, but I understand why a black man doesn't want to go to the police. I totally get it. But anyway, at the end of this episode, Midnight gets locked up for the SA of Renee, right? So I'm curious to see what's going to happen with that. Is Midnight gonna flip on Madam? What's gonna happen next, guys? But anyway, comment down below. Let me know your thoughts too. Were you happy to see Concierge in this episode? I certainly was. I think whenever I see him, it kind of elevates the show just a little bit. But anyway, turn your notifications on for the next recap / review, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.